Welcome back to the Whole Lawyer Podcast. This is episode 33. 33. We back with another installment of the Whole Lawyer Podcast. And we got my very special co-host back, Miss.
You don't know my name?
Come on, introduce yourself. I don't do all the talking in the introduction. Jeez Louise.
Right. Well,
oh my goodness.
I guess Tony or
the people want to hear from you, man. They don't want to hear my voice all the time.
It's literally your podcast.
They want to hear from both of us. So we're back with another episode. Like always, please like, share, subscribe to the Whole Lawyer Podcast. Yes, the name change is real. So go on Instagram, go on TikTok, go on all the platforms and look at the Whole Lawyer and follow us. And we appreciate the support. The podcast is growing. We're doing great things. We're going to have still amazing guests. We're going to have dope topics like the ones we have here today.
Yeah.
So please join the movement, man. We doing something big here. All right. So today's episode is 5 things we wish we knew before going to law school. We dove deep into this one, y'all. Yeah. So all the law students out there who are applying for law schools, I know it's around that time to do that, or the people who are just thinking about going to law school, this episode is for you. So we're going to start off with number 5, and we're ranking them from least important to most important. Obviously, they're all important because it's top 5, but we're starting from the least of the 5 to the number 1. All right, so coming in at number 5 is
law review.
What?
Law review. Law review. And mind you, I don't know if you know this, but this will be the 5th year for me of having graduated from law school. 4 years for you.
4 years. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's always weird to think that like I'm on the other side of grad school. Like college is one thing, but being like done with grad school is crazy. Time be moving.
This is my 12th year from college.
Jeez. We're not 4 years out of law school.
Yeah, I graduated in 21. And you were 22.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Exactly.
In 26. Happy New Year's, guys.
And yes, Happy New Year.
New Year's
was
was great.
Know when this will air, but yes,
it's gonna air in time. Well, Curb Your Enthusiasm says you can't say Happy New Year's after January 6th, but
I don't give it. I'll say what I want to say, but yes. But I say that to say we're ranking it from when we started law school. I feel like law school may have changed.
You think so? You think these will be different?
Not in terms of like the core learning aspect, and I think as we work our way up the list, I think those things pretty much stick. But I'm ranking these from my point of view of going to law school, and I think it's very dependent on what you plan to do with your law degree.
It is dependent. Now that you said that, I think these are even more important now than they've ever been because of AI and technology. For you to have these core skills will probably set you apart.
Yeah.
In the age where people are using ChatGPT to write their practice essays, I think having these things in mind will not only set you apart from your peers, but prepare you better for the legal fields to practice. So yes, number 5 is law review.
And if you don't know what law review, it's essentially kind of like a magazine for law students where instead of articles about, pop culture and things like that, they are a review of cases, like legal cases. Some very prominent law reviews would be like the Harvard Law Review, the Yale Law Review. That is basically just taking a deep dive into recent, sometimes past cases, and kind of sometimes it'll look at a culmination of cases to come out with like just like an overall like thesis about all of these cases and things like that. And I don't know if it was because of the school I went to or because of not having learned enough about law review before law school, but I really wish I would have taken seriously getting into law review and being on law review, just because I know it just really sets you up for writing.
Yeah.
And I think it gives you this kind of newfound way of looking at briefing cases and reading cases. I really wish I was that type of lawyer that like looked for cases and like read up on cases. So I can say,
enjoyed
oh,
that.
did
Yeah,
you know? But I just don't really have that passion, which
Right.
is kind of sad. But I think law review would have helped with that.
Yeah, no, that's real. Like you said, it does help your writing. Before law school, I didn't really know how prestigious it was.
Oh.
I was all caught up in mock trial. Like, that was my love. That's the reason why I even went to law school, because of mock trial. So my whole point of view was like, oh, I want to do mock trial. That's it. So when I found out about law review, I'm like, I'm fine with that. I'm good on that.
Yeah.
And here's my hot take. I think mock trial should be just as important and prestigious as law review. I get it. I know you're published in law review. It really does set you up. Your name is solidified forever in these articles. You are using you get to use a lot of skills of briefing cases and analyzing. Like you said, it feels like a PhD thesis that you get to like explore and use the law to do. But I enjoy orators. I enjoy seeing attorneys work the courtroom and know how to think on their feet and be able to convince and tell a story to a judge or a group of people. That's an amazing skill. And that's the skill I'm trying to build on. So it's no shade to law review. I that's something I wish I knew. But I also wish mock trial was held at the same level as law review, because it seems like law review is like this little cool thing you get to do on the side. No, mock trial is that little cool thing you get to do on the side. But law review is like, if you need to get into this thing.
I feel like the perfect combination of the two would be moot court competition.
Moot court, yes, that's very true. Yeah,
and for those who don't know, moot court competition has both writing and that orating aspect, because it's kind of like appellate work where you're writing an appellate brief, and then you now have to argue in front of a bench of judges what you've basically written down. And that's why I really loved Professor Onya's class when we took learning process, because we got the opportunity at the end of that class to do oral arguments.
That was crazy.
Man, I had the hottest bench. I was like, oh, well, court's indulgence.
And basically how moot court is set up is like, you have your case, you're trying to argue specific elements of the law, whether you're plaintiff or defense. And unlike in court, where you're just saying your opening uninterrupted or giving your uninterrupted in the sense of like, defense or plaintiff could object, but the judge is like staying out of it. In moot court, it is like on the spot. Judges are interrupting you, cutting you off, asking questions, deterring you from your point, and then you have to get back to it. It is the craziest, like, in the moment, thinking on your feet type of experience. Like you said, in appellate work, that was fun.
That was really fun. I wish I also would have done moot court competition. I wish I could have done both mock trial and moot court competition, because when I think about how I practice law, bless you, when I think about how I practice law today, it's both.
Yes.
I can't get away from writing. I have to write my motions, and I have to do a lot of motions practice that requires writing, that requires citing cases and things like that. So there's that piece. I don't do a lot of appellate work, but there's still that written piece. And then there's that oral argument piece, because I do have to go to court and I have to speak before a judge, and I have to make my arguments and make sure that they're clear and sound. So I would say moot court is probably the best of both worlds.
Right.
And I think mock trial, while it does give you that skill of, the rules of evidence and things like that, I would say having a piece that incorporates oration and written work would probably be ideal.
That's real. Like you said, it depends on what area you're going into. In my area, I don't write a lot. I'm always speaking, and that's why I value the speaking more, because even if something simple like speaking to my supervisor, I have to break down that case in 5 minutes and say why we should dismiss or why we should move forward. Like, just that in and of itself, and then have to do a trial, then have to do a hearing, then have to all these different things. But yeah, if you're going into a writing heavy field, into a appellate field, gear it towards what you're leaning into. So that's good. Yeah.
So at the bottom, number five,
law review / mock trial. Next up is the bar exam. Yay! I wish I knew literally what was on the bar exam before I went to law school. Not just what I wish I knew like how it was made up. I wish I knew it was 200 multiple choice questions. I wish I knew it was 6 essays.
Well,
I
not
wish I knew it was
anymore, but
yeah, all that stuff. Yeah, I know it changes in
Mhm.
jurisdiction. I know Louisiana is like written
Oh no, they're
exam
changing the bar.
for the
The
whole
next
thing.
gen bar starts in the summer of this year.
Wait, what is it now?
The next gen bar, it's not what you just described.
What's the next gen bar?
It is the new bar that they will be administering in summer of this
Oh
year.
Lord, and how, what's that
So
made
it
up of?
takes away a few topics. I believe it's over the course of a day and a half now, as opposed to 2 days, 6 hours each day. There is a written component, and they do still have multiple choice, but the written component is more focused on luring skills with your client. So I
Praise
think
God.
they've had this. They have a negotiation piece and things. So I think they have heard.
So they took my advice. I've been saying this. I've been saying it.
But I think it will be interesting, and I still think this test is designed to keep a specific genre of people out.
Come on, talk about it.
It is interesting to see how they have shifted from this arbitrary exam is what the bar exam. I think in February will be the last administration of the current the prior exam, the exam that you and I took. And I just think it's just arbitrary. So I do hope that this new exam actually does show that the people who are passing it are capable of practicing law, not
Right.
because they were able to remember rules or were able to do well in multiple choice, but because they actually learned how to write client letters and how to provide proper advice when giving a set of facts along with the rule of law.
No, I 100% agree. And I think it still applies because the people who are thinking about going to law school right now, you might not even know there's a next gen bar. So you might need to decide or calculate when you're going to be in law school and know that, okay, what type of bar is going to be administered by the time I get there and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
But that's good. I'm about to have a boomer take, but I was like, damn, man, they're getting the easy stuff.
I wouldn't even say they're getting the easy stuff. I think they're getting a more pointed test to the actual work that they're going to be doing. I'll say this. When we were talking about these things, I think I had mentioned, I was like, no, I actually researched the bar exam before I went to law school because I was like, am I even going to be able to do this? And I think in the beginning, learning that it's a 2-day exam, just that, I was like, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And I think going into law school, that honestly shaped how I approached the law school because it was one of those things where it's like, no, I have to pass the bar. At our school, they would give you like little cheat sheets for your midterms and your finals. And I was that person that was like, I don't need no cheat sheet. I ain't gonna get a cheat sheet on the bar. I need to know this stuff.
Yeah.
So I will say, with the new generation, next gen bar exam being installed this summer, if you're planning on starting law school or you've started law school already, you need to start reading up on that. You need to start figuring out what are the topics and the subjects I need to know that I'm going to have to refresh myself come May of my graduation year so that I can be in the best position to pass the bar that same year. Because if the first time you start learning about the bar is your last year of law school, it's too late. It's close.
That was me. That was me.
I don't even know how.
I think it was because maybe it was like denial. I was like, I'll get there when I get there. Like, I don't want to think about it. And also because I was an evening student, I was in law school for 4 years. I'm like, that's 4 years from now. Like, I'll figure it out later down the road. That was a mistake. Because like you said, like, you want to start framing your mind from first semester that the goal is the bar exam. I cannot practice law without taking this test. Right. So everything I need to do from now, I should be getting the mental reps in so that when I get to the bar exam, it's not a shock.
Right.
Even though it's still going to be a shock regardless. But I do wish I had the mindset from the beginning, like, this is all for the bar exam and not the semester right before I took my second to last semester. I'm like, all right, let me go see what this bar exam thing is all about. That was exactly me. I was like, let me go see what this is all about. Let me go figure out what. Then I'm like, wait, it's what? It's 2 days? It's essays? It's like, oh my God.
The way I took notes from day one, it was like I compiled all of my notes from class into a specific folder such that I could refer back to them for my bar study. because I knew the information we were learning was going to be on. I even had looked that at our school, they had given, I don't know if they did it for your year, but for my year, they had even given a mini bar.
Yeah,
where
we did.
took an NPT and then we had some multiple choice questions.
Yeah,
I think we had a few essays too. So I was thankful for that too, because I was like, oh, okay, some of this stuff I had already learned. So these classes are actually teaching me and preparing me for the bar. And now I know how I need to hold on to this information for when the bar exam comes.
Yeah. And you had a good base. Like the final exams in law school, some of the classes did have multiple choices. Some of the classes did have essays. So it wasn't like you were completely out of order, but it's more so just the amount of information. And I don't think my law school notes helped, honestly. I feel like I had to like get my note. I just relied solely on my bar course because it's like I more so took like the study habits, and we'll get to that, from the bar from law school more so than like, let me go back to like first semester torts so that I can use those notes for the bar. Like, no, I'm just gonna like, what's the outline y'all giving me? Let me just figure that out from there.
For me, I definitely did lean on my notes in some way, because there was ways that I learned the law in terms of like rule memorization and elements during law school, that when Themis was teaching it, I was like, I don't like that. I don't want to remember it that way. I want to remember the way I've already remembered it. Like even with statute of frauds, I liked my legs, and they had like my legs is the little acronym you use to remember when the statute of frauds applies. And I was like, I like that. And they were trying to give me something different. I was like, no. I can remember SpongeBob. The guy's always yelling, my legs. And that's how I can remember statute of frauds. So there were certain notes that I was like,
I never let go of my legs either. No, it's certain things in Crim Pro and Civ Pro that I was like, yeah, because that's really what the bar exam is. Is like, how much can you stuff into your brain, and in order for you to memorize it, you need to come up with inventive and creative ways so that it can pop into your brain when you need it. When you see that fact pattern, it automatically signals something in your brain that shoots up this information. Yeah. So you need to be able to find creative ways to make sure it's stored properly, not just stored, but it's stored properly. Yeah.
And I will say, if you are thinking of going to law school, or you just started law school, another reason why understanding the bar is helpful is because it can shape what school you go to.
Yes.
And if you are the type of person who wants to go and sit in on a class before you decide you want to commit to that law school, these are questions you may want to ask surrounding, how do you test your students? How do you grade? What is your method of teaching? Do you teach via the Socratic method? Do you just lecture? Because if you're the type of person who needs that like on hands involvement in class, and you need the teacher picking on you and calling your name and asking you about the cases, you want to make sure that you're getting that work, because not every school is going to do that. So understanding the bar and understanding how you learn and how you test is probably going to be a key indicator you're going to want to know about yourself before you just commit to a law school, because you're going to want to know how that law school teaches you.
Yeah. And if you find out like your Civ Pro final is short answer, knowing that that's not going to help you at all. Like, why am I writing short answers? Either needs to be essays or it needs to be multiple choice.
My family law is a MEE only topic, multi-state essay exam topic, meaning if you get a family law question on the bar, it's only going to be written. It's not going to be multiple choices. It's going to be an answer you're going to have to write. Our final was multiple choice.
And it's so backwards, bro. I don't get that.
I was heated. I was like, why? Mind you, it was an easy multiple choice exam, and I'm sure there were students who were like, oh yeah, easy A.
Right.
This is not helping me.
Because it don't matter. Listen, you could be the best law student ever. If you can't pass that bar exam, you're going to be the greatest law student ever. That's all you're going to be. That's all you're going to be. It's not like college where like your GPA matters, so you're working for the GPA.
Yeah.
There is no like big exam at the end of college that allows you to go to grad school. Law school is set up so that you have to take this bar exam to practice law. So you could have, like you did speak about it, even I remember in law school, it was like, yo, you don't want this to be easy. You don't want this to be multiple choice where you know it's an essay, or you don't want this to be essay where you know it's multiple choice in a bar exam. You want to replicate this exam that you're gearing up for. So even if you get the passing grade and the best grade in the class, it's not going to matter if you can't pass the bar.
Exactly. With the ultimate goal being an exam that you individually have to pass, your law school career has to be you get into that bag.
Yeah.
It can't
Yes.
be, oh, my school should be giving me, my school should be giving me, my school should be giving me.
Mhm.
It has to be, oh, I'm going to take this. I'm going to take that. I'm going to take every opportunity and every resource my school has to ensure that I am the best student and the best prepared for the bar exam. Because I see students all the time who will they'll crap on my alma mater and make it seem like it's not doing enough. And I'm like, well, did you do X? Did you do Y? Did you do Z? And they're like, no, I just thought it was going to be handed to me. It's not going to be handed to you. You have to go and get it. They're going to get paid either way. They're already barred.
Man, it's a hustle, man. It's a grind. And that leads us to number three, which is
internships and externships.
It's a hustle. It's a grind. And specifically for us, we were evening students.
Yes.
So we had to work, go to school, and do internships and externships. Yeah. We killed that joint. We went in. And that was literally my schedule for a period of time. It was work. Sometimes I would have class. I would take a lunch and go to class, go back to work. And then the next day have an internship. Next day go back to work. And shout out to my jobs for allowing me to shuffle around my schedule to make it work. But you have to make it work because you can't, even if you're an evening student, you cannot finish law school without any internships. There's no way it's going to work.
You can. I wouldn't recommend it.
But that's why I said you can. It's like, what are you trying to do if you don't do any internships or externships?
And again, I think that's, if you're thinking about going to law school, or maybe you've just started law school, it would be really important for you to decide, is an evening or part-time program going to get you the things you want out of attending law school?
Yeah.
Because if I could do it again, I probably would have went through the daytime program.
Really? Why?
Yeah, because of externships and internships. I would have loved the flexibility to actually do a summer internship.
True.
I felt like I was kind of stuck doing legal aid because they were really the only ones who would work with me when it came to my schedule.
And also you have to deal with conflict of interest if your job conflicts with your internship.
Exactly. Yeah. So if I could have gone daytime, I really feel like I would have had a summer internship for each summer. I would have had a winter internship. I would have filled my plate with internships because one, I wouldn't be working. So I would have that opportunity to, and I just think it would have gave me the opportunity to really see what was out there in terms of practicing law.
Yeah. And that's one of the main things I wish I knew. I wish I didn't have to only do internships in one lane. So in law school, once I realized I want to do criminal law, I want to do prosecution, I only took those internships. I didn't do private firms. I didn't do tech. I didn't do entertainment. I didn't do tax. I just like, this is what I want to do, full steam ahead. Because in my mind, I need to build my resume so that when I graduate, I can show my employer, I've had this long history in this field. This is why you should hire me. Not knowing that, one, it would be okay if my resume was diverse. And it was because I did a bunch of different things. But I get it towards to show like criminal law is what I want to do. Yeah. But it would have been okay if it shows some variety. And two, I would have known, like you said, I would have known what was out there. I would have given me some variety in like what my interests are and knowing that my creative side and different things, interests that I have could still have been tied to the law. So I could have taken internships in that field. So when you start law school, you may know what you want to do. I'm speaking specifically to the people who know exactly what they want to do. Still take different internships. Diversify because not just for the subject area, but for the people you meet. Yeah. Because you never know. First of all, you never know what dope relationships you just build just for building from those internships. Yeah. You may meet great friends, great mentors, but also see the world differently. You get to see how many different areas the law touches and how it influences the area that you actually want to practice. Right. So don't feel like, because I definitely want to do real estate law, I'm gonna make sure I intern every single summer ever. Don't do that. Yeah.
Definitely. And I'll say, look everywhere.
Yeah.
There's internships and externships overseas. I remember hearing of a student who went to do a Google internship, an Apple internship. Like they're out there and they're amazing.
Yeah.
So definitely don't put all your eggs in one basket. Yeah. Internships and be thinking of that. If you're in your 1L year or you're thinking of going into law school, really think about how you could spend your time in an internship and externship, because the summers are going to be very important. If you're thinking, I'm going to work over the summer, you might be taking away an opportunity to get, and I'll say it, I think it's horrible that some of these things are not paid. And again, that's why I will say pick your school wisely, because some schools will give you money, will pay you to work for free. So just put that out there.
No, that's real. And don't be afraid to apply, man.
Yeah.
I got caught up in that. I was applying to the DOJ summer internship. And the first time I applied, I didn't even finish it. I was like, man, I don't have enough experience. I'm like, you're in law school, bro. Like you're not gonna have a bunch of experience. If you're interested in it, apply.
Because finish your story.
Because I applied the next year. I actually finished it, got over my doubt and my fear, and I got in without any huge experience of this stuff. Like you just gotta tell your story. You gotta use what you have, because what you have is enough. It has to be enough. You're a law student. You haven't done 6 different jobs in 10 different areas. Like that's not going to be your story. You have what you have. You know what you're interested in. You know what influenced you to go to law school and the passions that you have. If you see an internships that gets your heart racing and gets your mind running, like, oh, this would be so cool, apply for it, because that means it's meant for you.
Yeah.
And if you don't get that one, you apply for another one, because this one's always popping up. Like, Hennessy does a fellowship. Google does a fellowship, all these different things.
There are more internships out there than there are law students.
Like, for real.
So there's definitely something out there for you.
Yeah, and again, shout out to UDC. I tell the students at UDC this all the time. You are in a unique position being in DC. I don't care if we're not ranked, or people can say what they want about UDC. We are in DC. When we went to our mixers and our networking event, we went in the same rooms as Howard and American, all these different things, Georgetown Law, because we in DC. I can rock with the best of them. We're going to be in the same rooms with the same panels and all these different type of things. So, like, don't count yourself out. You get in them rooms and you grind and you work. That's the thing. It is a grind. I think that's part of what I wish I knew to go into law school. This is about to be some work, bruh. Law school is a grind, man. Get into that hustle mindset. Like, yo, I'm gonna be going to class, but also I'm gonna be emailing this person. I'm gonna be sending out that application. I'm going to this event. I'm going to office hours. Get to it. No, this is my life. I'm on a grind. I'm going after it. I'm hungry. I'm trying to work, bruh.
For sure.
Yeah.
That brings us to our next topic. Coming in at number 2 is
how to study. Lord Jesus. Law school, when you enter law school, it tells you everything you know about reading, everything you know about writing, throw it away. You're starting from scratch. That's what law school does. And with that comes, how do I now use my time to form these skills? How do I study? How do I study for a final exam, with a bunch of essays? How do I, like we said, how do I get this information into my brain the right way? Is it flashcards? Is it writing it over and over again? Is it outlining? Is it speaking it out loud? Is it on a white? We love our whiteboard. We on our whiteboard all the time in the library. Is it on the whiteboard? How in the world do you study in law school?
It's so interesting because I was not a good studier in undergrad.
No.
Fake
it till you make it. Bro, he's figured it out.
Bro. But it's weird because, not to brag, but 1L year I did really, really well.
No,
and
why did you?
I think I do think I came in very prepared, just understanding what the end goal was and understanding that I needed to pass the bar exam. And I actually thoroughly enjoyed what I was learning. In undergrad, it just felt like I was there because my parents wanted me to go to college and I was just studying something. And I really didn't know I was going to go to law school. So I was just kind of going by with the motions. Once we got to law school and I'm realizing, okay, I actually have to know this stuff.
Yeah.
I learned a few things about myself. Flashcards are very helpful.
Yes.
But they are boring. They are very boring because you're just...
If you're doing it with somebody else, it's fun though. When we were doing it together, like you would hold the flashcard, and I'm like, "What is it?"
If you're doing it with,
it's fun. It was fun.
Yes, but it was one of those things where I didn't always study in groups, and I had to understand my strengths and know that I'm not going to argue with you about what you think the rule is. I know the rule is this. We're not going to go back and forth. So I learned this can be boring. And creating games and, processes that really get my brain moving is probably the best way to study. Creating that Jeopardy game, that was so fun.
Jeopardy game was fun.
I loved playing Jeopardy because It was like a flashcard, but it was more involved. It was in a group setting. It felt competitive.
Yeah.
There was that piece. Creating songs, singing songs with the rules. Love doing that.
Yeah.
Love making rules.
What helped for me actually is like the whiteboard helped for me is like you have to write everything out and then you erase it. And then like, all right, now write it again. You just write it all right back on the because you're not like, okay, do I actually have this? So even if you like write a term of like, what's a good example?
Hearsay is an out of court.
Yeah, hearsay. Like you just write the word hearsay. Like, can you just write the rule right under it, erase it, and then write it again? I think that was helpful for me too.
The repetition is definitely helpful. I mean, utilizing your school's resources, because we lived in the library.
Facts.
We lived in the library. We had the big whiteboard. Everything sprawled out on a table, books, note cards, everything. That was very, very helpful. And one thing I also learned about studying was it is a full-time job. I studied at work. I studied at home. I studied at the restaurants. I studied hanging out with friends. I remember my friend would ask me about little things I would say to her. And while she's like, oh, how's this going? Just reminding me of words. And I'll be like, no, it's not that. It's this. And teaching her stuff. So it was one of those things where studying kind of just became my life. I would see TV shows and movies. Contract. Oh, that's a tort. Oh, that's a crime. And would really embody the laws that I was learning. So what I tell my bar students is you have to figure out how you best study.
Yeah.
And sometimes that requires yourself turning off things that you like, turn off your phone, turn off your TV, turn off your iPad, turn off your internet. Maybe you just gotta be in the book, highlighting, speaking to yourself, and things like that. But you have to figure out what works. You have to do it long. It's gonna be it's gonna take forever to study because if you're the type of person you just want to watch Quimby. You want to watch Quimby.
Quimby is good for like preparing for class, but that's not.
That'll prepare you for class somewhat. Yeah. But if you don't want to read those cases, you're not going to understand the law.
Exactly. That's right. I think Quimby, at least for me, was good for preparing last minute for class, like like cramming for class. But I could not use Quimby to actually study for a final exam. Like it was not substantive enough. I need to read. I need to know that case in and out.
A lot of students feel like, if I know the case, if I know the facts of the case, that's enough. No, being able to see how the court
got to
its holding and being able to articulate what the court's reasoning was is an art.
It is.
And like you said, you got to throw everything else you learned from undergrad away because you're now approaching this subject from a new lens.
Yeah.
With a new goal in mind when you're reading what you're reading.
Yeah. Because not every case is going to say, my reasoning is it's going to be all over the place. These judges want to speak like it's the 1950s and it's 2012. Yeah. Like it's ridiculous. And and for y'all who are like me, who are like, I like studying with music in college, I got away with like having Netflix on and studying, having music on and studying, chilling with people and studying. In law school, it does not allow you to do that. You have to get rid of all that. Like you just reading a case for class. I can't be watching something and outlining a case because I'm gonna miss something. I'm gonna misunderstand something, especially for studying for finals and especially for studying for the bar. There was no way I could. I'm a music guy too. Like some days I'll be feeling like I get up with music. Certain parts of the bar exam, I was like, damn, I gotta turn up the music.
Exactly.
I can't focus.
They tell you to practice in the same setting in which you'll take the bar. You can't bring music into the bar with you.
Yeah.
So that might exactly. To you, and then the moment you get in the bar, you ain't got your music.
That was hard for me. I'm like, oh, music was. I could get rid of the YouTube and TV. I was like, just give me some music, at least some jazz playing in the back. No. Just 3 hours sitting in the room, silence. I'm like, oh my God.
I studied for the bar in pure silence.
Oh Lord, that's torture, bro. I
was locked in.
Now you're right.
Learning, it didn't matter what the noise was behind me. It was silence, and I was learning. I had to.
Yeah, no, I agree. And with that comes number one. The number one thing we wish we knew in law school is
how to manage time.
Time management.
Yes. Time management is interesting because the easiest thing you can do is call your friends and family and say, I'm going to be ghost for the next 3 years. That's the easiest thing you can do. And just literally be ghost. But that's going to cause you to burn out. because you'll be giving all your time and attention to the bar, which while I did find the subject matter fun, it was exhausting. So you do need to figure out how to balance having a social life with excelling in your academia as well. You can't spend more time with social life. You do have to spend more time with academia, but you really do have to find that sweet spot where, yeah, you should be able to celebrate birthdays with friends. You should be able to enjoy winter break. You should be able to enjoy summer break. But when school is in session, you have to be able to say, hey, I can't hang out this weekend.
Yeah.
Or, hey, I'm not going to be able to usually do our Thursday night dinners or whatever it is because I have to study. You have to be very, very, very intentional with your time, acknowledging that even if you say, oh, I'll just come back and study after this event, you're gonna be tired. It ain't gonna happen, and your future self will hate you.
That never worked. Yeah, for me, like we said, we worked full time. I went to law school in the evening, but I was also heavily involved in my church. So I was playing drums and serving on Sundays. We had practice on Thursdays, and then we might have had like an event to play out on Saturday too. But I also have reading to do for Monday, and I also have I have interrogatories to write for my job that's needs to be handed in on Tuesday. Having all those moving parts, something else is gonna lag off. So I would say don't follow my lead. Thinking back on it, I'm glad I had all those different sectors because I love the relationships that I've built. But like you said, like I do wish I was able to like focus solely on like law school was my entire world. But it wasn't. But it was obviously the center of it because like that's what I was here for. That's what I was building all these things for. I always saw it as those things bleeding into each other because if I couldn't be in church or if I couldn't have my job to have money to live, I'll be just mad as hell in law school and just feel like I was just stuck in a cave not doing anything. Like I needed these different outlets to feed into me. But also it took away from law school. It's like I'm showing up to class late, retired, late because I got to do this thing. All these different I haven't played, but listen, pass the ball on the first try. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? And that's true. And I think it comes down to, it's not to say it's impossible. It's not to say you can't have a life and attend law school, but the struggle you will go through will be defined by your choices.
Yeah, no, for real. And what you say yes to.
Yeah.
And the amount of things. Because then again, then there's internships. And then I was working on projects within the law school with Dr. Khan, rest in peace, Dr. Khan, working with other attorneys, and then volunteering, social organizations. And how did we do this to us?
I feel like I got lucky because at my job at the time, for most of law school, I was a legal assistant at the Department of Labor. I could sit and read my cases at work.
Right. Yeah.
I could prepare for class at work because there wasn't very much demand. And even when I had switched over to the Department of Defense, same deal. I just sat at my desk and read and briefed cases and things like that. So that is one thing that if you are thinking about joining law school and you're also looking for a job, try to find a job where there was no challenge in that moment. And honestly, once law school was over, I was like, I'm out because it's not offering me anything anymore. But if you can find a job and you plan on going part-time and you can find a job that will let you kind of just get away with studying for law school, I recommend that 100 out of 10.
Yeah, no, I agree. Because I was a paralegal at the Office of the Attorney General. And as paralegals, you're not needed 24/7. Certain jobs are, I won't speak for all paralegal jobs, but working in government, you're not on call all the time. So most times, once you finish an assignment, turn something in, you have some time in between to, like you said, study. I definitely did a lot of studying at work.
Exactly. So that's the best time to study.
Yeah.
And make friends at law school, because that's another way you can help manage your time, because you're spending time with friends who know what you're talking about and who you can gripe about that class and that exam, and you're still kind of in that study-ish mode.
And if you didn't brief that case, like, yo, can you send me that outline?
Can I get that outline, notes?
Or if you was in class and you just wasn't feeling that day, or you sick, like, yo, can you send me the notes you took for that class? Like, I was out of it. Like, I was dazed off. Like,
making friends is going to be top on my list for a thing. I mean, that's something that came easy to me, but If you go to law school with the idea, I'm just going to stick to myself and I'm not going to make any friends, don't do that.
Don't do that. You cannot. If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go with people. Like, no man is an island. Don't try to thug it out.
Right.
And it's like, I'm going to student on law school. I'm going to go talk to them. Because we seen those people who just stay to themselves, which is cool. Do your thing, shorty. But I couldn't do that. Like, and I need to build community.
Those type of people don't fare well. They have a hard time passing the bar.
Yeah.
Because you stuck in here and you got questions. You got questions that need answers and you're not asking the right people, because some of your teachers are going to make you go and find those questions. You come in the office hours and they're like, well, you tell me. So you still going to have questions. But if you go to your group of friends and your network in law school, there are going to be people who have different ways of breaking down information that is useful to you. Yeah. And you'll never know it because you stuck to yourself.
And it's preparing you for the real world, man. Like, what I tell you is, again, in my field, I have to build relationships. I got to make sure the clerk like me. I got to make sure the paralegal like me. I got to make sure the judge, not supposed to like you, like just to like for the sake of liking. It's like, no, it's like being kind, how to speak to people, how to build relationship. I had a friend who went through something this week and I had to call up somebody from law school, like, yo, can you look up something for me? Because yada, yada, yada. That was because I didn't just stay to myself. I built relationships so that when it was something happened, I was able to call on them, not just because, I need a favor from you. It's because I know this is genuinely my friend, and my friend would do this for me, and we could also catch up later and be cool. Like, why wouldn't you want to have that type of relationship in your life? Exactly. And you build that from law school. You build that from reaching out and getting, not just rushing out of class right after class. It's like sticking around and talking, like chatting up. Like,
building genuine relationships in law school, probably for me, is just the number one key to success.
Yeah, and also with professors too. Going to office hours. Professors love to talk to you.
Professors are probably the best friends to have post law school, because they're just like a wealth of knowledge outside of law school. Like, I love talking to my professors out of law school because they're genuinely interested in what you are doing. They genuinely love to see you shine after law school, but then you actually build a relationship with them where you're invited to their house for dinner and you're meeting their friends and they're showing you. It's like having a second parent almost, the way you get close with your professors. It's so fun.
Yeah, law school, it's going to be hard work. It's going to be a grind, but it could be so fun and fulfilling if you do it right. And if you follow our 5 things we wish we knew, I think you'll do just fine. Yes. And if you have any more questions or want to hear more stories, reach out, man. Comment, email us at evenaftermedia. Is that even after media?
Yeah. Even after media.
Yeah, even
at Gmail, though.
Even after media at gmail.com. Like, reach out. We want to be a resource to you. We want to be build relationships with you guys. If you feel like you haven't had any examples of lawyers in your family or any blueprint, we're here for that. The whole lawyer is here for that, so that you're not just out there alone. We want to be a resource for you. So
we went through it the hard way, so you don't have to.
Yeah, out the mud, bro. We raw dog law school. Raw. All right, y'all. It's been The Whole Lawyer. Peace.